Welcome back for another week of Ausmerican Aces. I'm Renee Gartner and I'm joined by Ash Wicks and Aaron Woods, the great men. How are we?
Good. Very good.
How was the weekend?
Mine was great. My little fella had his first game of rugby league. So I was down there at the park watching him. I had a silly bet. I did an Ash.
You bet on your kid?
No. I had a bet with him. Like
First try scorer.
If you score 3 tries, you get to pick what's for dinner.
Oh.
Had cake for dinner.
And the little bugger scored 4 just to rub it in.
That's outstanding.
So what was...
And then you know what he says to me? He goes, Dad, why didn't you score many tries when you play? I said, mate, it's quite hard to get across the line.
No, not for him.
It was frustrating, mate.
What was for dinner?
Sushi.
Oh, that's all right.
It's a strong call.
I enjoyed it. I did throw out, like, I said, you got sushi. You got, we call McDonald's magic window because you go through the window. Or pizza. And I reiterated, sushi's nice.
So
We
you
can get
forced the
sushi
hand.
fresh. Yeah. So, and he really wanted it.
Yeah.
So did I.
The way you call it magic window, I would always want to go through the magic window. It's like play school when you used to have to pick the windows.
Well, that's why. Because he goes, Dad, the food comes out of the window.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my wife goes, it's magic. So from that moment, we call it magic window.
That's good. That's good
I
gear.
like
I
that.
quite like that.
So
yeah.
he's already scored more tries than you in your entire career.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
So his first year of footy was last year.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many tries.
Good on him.
But I had to put him back, mate. The game's not about attack. It's about defending as well.
Yeah.
And you got to learn how to tag, champ. Not good
Buster
enough.
Woods sounds like a strong rugby league name too.
Yeah.
I reckon that's going to be a strong name.
The next gen.
Yeah.
He's quite tall. I said to him, mate, you don't want to be playing sort of wing, centre. Not good money-wise.
Yeah. And you also, what did you say about wingers last
Yeah,
week?
they got front row seat to watch the greatest game of all. But I said, you want to get in the middle? Front rowers are getting paid really well now.
Yep.
Fullbacks are good. Halfback is where the money's at.
Yeah.
You got to be good at it though.
Yeah. You got to have some brains. Hopefully
Absolutely.
you learn something.
Well,
Well,
you
hopefully he's like Sarah.
Hope
Yeah.
he gets his mother's
your weekend was more eventful than mine. Let's put it that way. I had actually a pretty quiet week. I went to the game, disappointing, but Sunday Arvo on the hill was great. So
Yeah.
all good. Nothing
Well-
really. My son was pretty disappointed, but
Geez, it looked good out there, Ash. Like to start, like this, just looked like a packed house.
oh, it was chockers. I got there like sort of 30 minutes before the game, and it was heaving. It was good.
Sold out like a couple of days before, I think it was.
Yeah, and what's that? 3 in a row sold out. So they're doing good things, and obviously it was multicultural around. So they had a few different entertainments in there and from different cultures. It was great. It was good to see. So it was good, except for the loss. But
And then the storm hit.
the storm definitely did
yeah.
hit. That's for sure. They were unbelievable. They were unbelievable. I'm just gonna say it. I had way too many beers.
Yeah.
You sort of had that feeling when Hughes got announced. He was coming back. 'Cause we got a little WhatsApp, and when we did speak about it,
I was gutted.
I could just gather your mood just changed a lot.
I went pretty quiet there.
Drastically.
I was heckling. Hit him in the hand. Didn't quite, yeah. But no, it was good. Good weekend overall.
I like it. All right, well, let's head straight into the news, and I think it'd be very hard to go past hamstrings.
Ooh, that's a
because-
dirty word.
I know. Well, and they also call it footballer's thigh. That's like the other
Footballer's
buzzword.
thigh.
Footballer's inner thigh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a funny one because so many happening at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
It seems like it's more than usual, don't you reckon? Like it's so early.
Yeah.
Well, you've played the game for many years.
Yep.
It's generally the time of year that hammies do happen. You tend to see them more at the start of the year because you've come off a heavy load in the
Yep.
preseason, from training to weights to getting stronger, faster, all of the things, and then all of a sudden you go straight into a lot of contact and high intensity.
Well, that's why a lot of clubs employ high performance managers because they're the ones that got to get that right. That's their main focus area. It's changed completely over time to when I first started. Like we didn't have GPS when I was first coming through the grades, so you basically just got out there and got flogged.
Back in the 90s.
Back in the early 2000s, no. But now, so yeah, obviously everything you do is monitored and measured, and things they look at, like they look at. So with players, everyone's different. So back in the day, you just go out and do your 2K time trial, and that's what your fitness test was.
Yeah.
Now they take like your speeds, your what they call is accelerations, how many like accels you take, decels, little things like that. So they also use that for when you're coming back from injury too.
Yeah.
So when you got to say someone like Adam Reynolds, who's got a little bit of a strain in his hamstring, what they'll do all week is he's got certain targets he's got to get, what he gets throughout the week, and he's got to get that load, he's got to get the accels in, the decels, and he's also got to get the high speed meters.
Yeah.
So it's very technical in the little things that they look for, which can do a lot of trainers' heads in because when players tend to get those marks, that's when they get the tick. But in games, like it's so hard. I honestly, all the years I played, when you train, you get those meters or those those ticks of approvals that you're going to get through the game. But when you're playing a game, it's like there's no awareness of your body. You put your body in situations that you'd never do at training.
Is that adrenaline?
It is adrenaline. You're probably going harder, but it's not the fact that training you're not trying to, but it's the build up of the game when you're in the moment. It's like you don't really care about your body. You just put it in and you might have a little bit of a tight hammy, but you all forget about it when you play.
Well, you're just going above and beyond to get the points.
Exactly,
and you want to win
right.
it for your mates, so you go those extra miles.
You're in game mode, I suppose, and like with training, it's way more a controlled environment.
Very controlled, yes.
You can control the game as much as you want, but like you making a quick turn that's unexpected can do all sorts of things. And like also every year everything gets faster. Everyone's faster, everyone's more fit, there's more technology, there's all this sort of stuff. And then every 2 games I reckon there's like 3 hammy injuries at the moment.
Well, since COVID, they've put the 6 again in.
Yeah.
When you kick for touch back in the day, it used to be all right, kick for touch, bring it in, scrum. We start the sets off well. It's a play the ball as quick as you can now.
Yeah.
So it's so much, it's under fatigue. And basically, the Panthers have got a blueprint of you keep the ball in play, what they call as a cycle. So you just go set for set for set.
Yeah.
And then on those things, it's not just keeping the ball in play, it's your kick chase, which is you're going to have high speed meters. And then you're obviously carrying the ball, you got support, and all those little things tend to add up. So whereas back 5 years ago, when COVID hit, you literally, if you want to spell, you just kick for touch.
Yeah, right.
An error, there was hardly any play the balls from those sort of starts. It was basically you just get a scrum, you walk in there, you jog it, you have your rest, you have your breather. But they want to bring the game to be quicker, and this is what's going to happen if the game does get quicker. There's going to be a lot more risk of injury, especially soft tissue.
Yeah, well, I was listening to a couple of podcasts about it because I was kind of interested, and obviously we've all spoken to a couple of physios as well too. So during, I think it was 2019 and 23, I think the average was around 24 to 25 hamstrings a year. We're in round 5. There's already been 11.
Whoa, my hamstrings hurt. Listen to that.
Yeah. But they said it's the perfect storm. The game's gotten faster, players have gotten faster, players have gotten bigger and stronger, and the impacts there. Plus, also they're talking about, I think someone threw out that Tom Trebojevic shouldn't play away games because planes make it worse for his recovery with his hamstrings.
Oh, get on a bus, big fella.
Yeah, the things like, you travel playing in the wet and the recovery from having heavy legs, but it's the sport.
Exactly.
And AFL is smaller men, but faster and taller. They still have a really high level of hamstrings and they don't have contact. So it's just the way of
It's also your genetics too. Some bodies can handle a lot higher load. Like Cameron Smith played, 400-something games in the middle.
Yeah.
He didn't do any weights though. He just did the numbers, didn't he?
He did what he had to do.
He was just the accountant.
But he's very strong. Like they probably working his core very hard. But it's hard to come up with that right model because there's 17 clubs and no one's getting it right.
But they existed in the 70s and 80s. My old man used to have quads and hammy injuries all the time. I think it was the 78 grand final, he played fully strapped up because they tore it. But it just wasn't recorded. We didn't speak about it.
Didn't they also smoke ciggies at halftime?
Also, it did 100%. It was sponsored by Winfield Blues.
Yeah.
They came in instead of Gatorade and lollies and hydrolytes and stuff on the table. There was literally packets of cigarettes.
Take it to
Maybe we should implement that again.
I wish.
And running the
probably be
and
vapes
running the
now,
bins. And running the bins.
I'm sure it'd be great role models for kids.
Yeah, real fitness, running the bins and smoking ciggies.
They'd love it, the sponsors.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the year. But the other thing I wanted to speak about was our news last week is they were bringing in the high tackle count. They were going to come in hard, crack down hard. There was 6 players, cop 10 in the bin. I think 2 other were done for professional fouls. But I feel like there was actually a lot more that probably should have been sent or penalised during the weekend.
We all watched the Manly game. Corey Waddell's a good mate of mine. That was the worst one I've seen all weekend.
Yeah.
He went in and hit him that hard and he got put on report. Like, where's the consistency? I watched the game on Friday night. It was the Cowboys versus Penrith. I think it was Reece Robson got the first one. Dane Laurie got chopped low, so he's already going down low. Robson just flicks him, gets 10 in the bin. And the last one was, I think it was Isaac Tungo on Tuolangi on the wing on last play, makes the tackle and absolutely just like flicks it. And then we have a set for Penrith. Then the Cowboys come back and then the ref then blows the whistle and gets a call from the bunker. So we've had 2 sets and they've come back to give him 10 in the bin.
Yeah, move on.
That's
Like,
wild.
The
Yeah.
we've moved
Cowboys
on.
lose all momentum because they could have had a set attacking the try line penalty with a play in the sin bin.
Yeah.
Whereas now they don't even. It's Penrith have got the ball. It doesn't make any sense. It's just hard as a fan. Like I was commentating that game and I could see it happening. The head high happened right in front of us, but then the referee watched Talangi. He got up straight away because if you stay down, you're going to be off for the HIA. And that game was neck and neck. It was very tight. What are the fans thinking sitting in the stands?
Well, fan.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw there was one on Sunday sitting on the hill, not in a stand this time. Someone else was sitting in the stands. And there was one on Ruben Garrick that was completely missed, right up against the sideline. He sort of came over the top of his shoulder, but it was a bit of chin music and nothing. Not a penalty, nothing.
The hill blew up too.
Everyone was blowing up. It was so obvious, and they've just gone carry on. I think what happened is they're so used to knee-jerk reactions and then going so the other way. They tried to be like, let's not try and embarrass ourselves too much here. And it was arguably worse.
Yeah.
Can I say something which I'd never say? Normally, I feel sorry for referees at the moment.
Well, that's...
I'm sorry, every
hang on a
offload
sec.
for the last how
Yeah,
many rounds? They've all been on the red.
I feel because it would be that nerve-wracking going into a game and trying to referee it. They might miss a little tiny head high, but then you go back 2 sets when the bunker jumps in. Like they must be scared to blow a penalty and just wait for the bunker's call.
Yeah.
How hard would that be? Like that'll be playing on my mind so much going into games.
Yeah.
But also for
Like
players.
micromanagement on field.
Yeah, like but you got to remember they got to worry about the play the ball. They got to get someone on side. There's so much going through their head. Tackle count.
Look at
It's
you.
beautiful. Yeah.
This won't happen ever again.
You really matured.
No, this won't happen ever again.
so much
in one
growth.
week.
It's just the fact that I just don't think that the head highs that are going for 10 in the bin are necessary.
What do they do then?
I think a lot of the onus needs to sit with the players. The head is like 10% of the body. There's so much more to tackle.
Did you watch the
Don't shake your head at me.
Mate, the Broncos-Tigers game, Payne Haas got penalised for one of the softest touches I've ever seen. And then when he fell to the ground, he got flicked, but because they blew a penalty early, they had to do it again.
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch. We want
It
to
is
talk about getting
frustrating.
some rhythm in the game. This is slowing the game up.
So how do you fix it?
Free for all.
Yeah.
If a player is down, then it's a penalty. But when, like the ones like Talangi, they're just not, like you can tell, if they get up straight away, there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
Especially the ones where the players get tackled before, like they get chopped low and you can see them falling. And if it's just a little flick, come on. Bit of common sense.
Especially on the way down. Like I get like if you come in with forearm intent and you're going for a pretty heavy tackle and someone's gone the legs and he's falling and it's like okay, you could probably pull out of that or maybe maybe don't flex your arm as you hit him in the face. But like the ones where it's like clear intent, high shoulder high, up like above the shoulder.
Hudson Young, shoulder right to the head. That's what it's saying. But it's these other ones where they're falling. Like, it's just so hard. Like you watch the Corey Whittle. That was a 10 in the bin.
Yeah.
That's a prime example. That's what they should be showing people. If this happens, 10 in the bin. And it was the last game it was second last game of the round, and we got put on report. Even the commentators were shocked.
Well, we're just as shocked to hear that you're all for the referees this
I
round.
know. I'm rattled. I'm gonna have to take the rest of the day off.
And something else that's going to shock you as well too, the ESPN NRL tips. There's been a change at the top.
What? No, you're kidding. Where's Olga?
Olga's gone.
Oh,
Well, she's not
How
gone.
the mighty have fallen.
it happens.
She's fallen into second. We've got Culbra 636. Well done, mate. You are 1 point in front, and Jezebel in third place. But Olga, she's
gone.
been dominating when there's been all the upsets. But now we're going into the gritty football stage of it, where everyone who should win is.
I think post round 5 is where you can start to think about.
Even
Getting
then,
serious.
So you don't reckon Olga will be back up the top?
We'll see. Look, I'm not going to say I hope so because I want to be at the top. I'm
you
living
travelling,
an
big boy?
emotional
He's 1
roller
point.
coaster.
He's behind me. Just.
I went from 19th.
Well, that's telling you something.
Went from 19th. I went from 19th to 5th, and then I went from 5th back to 20th on
It's a
Sunday.
roller coaster,
Yeah.
brother. It's rugby league.
I'm an emotional wreck.
Yeah, we're sitting at 20 and 21, and it's only 4 against that's separating us at the moment.
Who
so.
would have tipped the Cowboys at Penrith?
I did.
Can I just ask where you are on the tipping?
I forgot what tips in each week.
He's
I'm
nodding.
like-
Was
I'm
he our tech genius?
I'm over the
No
top.
idea.
I'm just assessing it because if I put my tips in, then I have no credibility.
That's fair. That's
Especially
fair.
opening
It'll
5
undo.
rounds.
I-
It's too hard.
I did the bold act of changing my tips to the Dolphins.
Ooh.
They won.
Yeah, but like that was bold. And then what happened after that?
the next
Oh
one?
yeah, and no, I also changed to Para, and
Oh,
they
well
won.
done.
Oh.
Yeah, so
So
I
how'd you go
got
backwards.
Sunday.
Okay.
Oh, Manly.
I was like,
You
you know,
went with
keep
your
it
heart,
right. Come on, Yui. No. And then I was like, oh, I went with my heart,
not your head.
not my head. I'm gonna cry. And then I also was like, oh, Newey, surely. If Ponga has a good game,
Yeah,
they're
okay.
unstoppable really down that side. And they were the
Mate,
complete opposite.
You
They
knew,
were
they, you knew they
dreadful.
were in for a hiding, or not a hiding, but a loss when Jacob Saifidi tears his calf.
Yeah. Oh.
Not even I did
That's
that.
bad.
And it was like,
Poor bloke.
I watched it on delay, so I had like turned off all my notifications so that nothing could come through.
Yes.
And what was I doing? I was looking up someone's stats. I was like, I need to find someone's stats. And it popped up that there was like 14-0. I was like,
They did well, but considering the amount of possession the Bulldogs had.
it was 2-0 for most of the game, was out there. And then I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then I went down to 20th. But it happens.
Can't win them all.
happens to the
Can't
best
win them all.
of us.
son.
Happens
Yeah.
to all of us.
Well, I didn't
all
think-
the greats.
Yeah, well, it's the same. Yeah. Well, because I chose Raiders over Manly a couple of weeks back, and then they obviously beat Raiders. So then I went, I can't do that again. So I think Manly should be able to win this next.
So you're the mock.
Yeah, it's your
Well,
fault.
no, because when I didn't pick,
Yeah, bet it- just bet it.
actually,
Yeah.
every
You gotta
time
bet
I back
against them.
them.
Just give up that 1 point.
I can't go against Manly. I
hurts,
can't
yeah.
do it. They'll ban me from any future functions.
You're
Not
not
that
getting
you're invited,
invited.
Danny.
Yeah,
Whoa, hey, whoa. I'm working on it. I'm working on
both at
it.
the same time.
Hey, you saw me at the awards last year. I was there, mate.
And you snuck in, mate.
I was well dressed as well. Me and the beaver.
Well, speaking of which, Ashes round review. High and low, mate.
High. Well, it's safe to say the 2025, the year of the food-related violence, continues.
Oh,
What's happened?
And I'm pumped about it. Because we had the meat pie.
yes.
We all thought that's a bit dumb, hot meat pie.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly, and I'm yet to have facts, but allegedly there was a big fight on the hill on the weekend. Not sure if you saw it from your ivory tower up there. There was a big fight on the hill, and apparently a Melbourne supporter was on the hill in a shirt that
How
said
dare they.
F Manly.
Oh, no.
Bad taste.
Apparently he copped a snag to the face.
Oh, cop that. The sausage straight to the face.
So that made me so happy because I was leaving the ground with 10 minutes to go. No, everyone stood up and I was like, "What's going on?" I'm too short king, and I was like, "Something's going on." And then I've got a couple of people being like, "Oh, there was a sausage involved," and I was like, "Excuse me."
Who's sausage?
I wonder if it was a hot sausage. Or whether it was...
I think. Well, yeah. Don't know,
You've got
but
some rage in you when you grab the sausage out of the bread and then just hurl it.
just a snag to the face.
That's something I'd love to see on slow motion.
Sauced up. I hope they had double sauce and a bit of onion on there.
Oh, and
Old
some
mate's
mustard.
going home with a full meal. Took 4 cops to escort him out because there was a fight broke out after that. Which no one was
To escort the
seriously
Storm
hurt.
player out wearing the FU Manly shirt?
Yeah.
or-
He's probably just doing
Here's
some
apparent-
Melbourne wrestle tactics.
He was like 6'5". He was like
Chicken wings.
6'5" and
was a big
huge,
man.
big guy, ballsy.
I'm
but-
surprised you still couldn't see him above all the masses then.
I'm only like 5'9".
Yeah.
So
Just imagine his face when he got hit by the sauce. Oh,
would have been great.
I wish I seen that.
Surely someone's got it on camera somewhere.
Damn.
I have been told there's footage, but I'm still trying to find it.
It'll be on TikTok.
Let's
somewhere,
hunt
wouldn't
it. If you know of anyone who has the footage, please tag us, Oz American Aces, anywhere on our social
And
media.
Instagram, please.
That was
Yes.
my high because I think as long as it's not too bad, like if it's a bottle or a can, it's a bit much. But
Yeah.
a sausage to the head is great. It's great entertainment.
Can I give you a high, please?
Yeah, go.
Cohen Hess's hit on Nathan
Oh
Cleary.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was just up and I thought it was Ivan Drago out
It
there
looked
on
like
Rocky
his
Balboa.
that
soul
was
left his
great.
body.
Yeah.
I did feel sorry for Nathan because he just got the ball and just tried to kick it.
Yeah.
But to see that was massive, that hit.
Oh, for his legs to flick up in the air. It was, do you know what? And I think teams should, moving forward, go, this is how you do it. This is how you do it at the perfect time. Because it was a kick and we see so many penalties off the back of that. Cohen has timed, couldn't be any more perfect.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think I audibly stood up and was like, whoa!
It was so good to see. It was unbelievable.
Kids were asleep. I was like, shh. So my high was food related. My low is my low is a little bit obscure. I'm feeling a little bit inadequate the last few days.
Why?
What's happening?
I don't know if you saw it, but Robin Irwin
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
posted a new campaign in his undies and animals, which I think
And
the
his
NRL
snake.
should really think about some halftime entertainment with Robert Irwin.
Oh, yeah.
Undies, snakes,
Magic Mike.
all
sort
of it. Magic
Yeah.
Mike. So that my low was that because I spent the weekend watching footy, but my wife spent the weekend watching that.
Yes. I don't think she's the only one, brother.
So it really got me down about my body shape. So thank you for that.
Mate, honestly, who would have thought he had a rig like that?
Oh, man.
Crikey.
Well, I just felt wrong looking at it. I felt like I've got my blue card. I don't want to risk it.
It's like what someone was like. It's like, you know, watching your nephew grow up and then their first campaign. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's like. We've all been so a part of Robert's life for so long that when he brought that out, I was like, "This is disgusting."
He's not that little boy with the bowl cut anymore, is he?
No, he's a
No.
big boy with a bowl cut.
Yeah.
And a pet iguana.
Yeah. Couple.
And a python.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping your
Don't
pants
get-
there, Renee. Jesus.
Don't get angry.
Around his neck.
Yeah, it's not.
Don't get angry, Renee. Jesus.
There's more than one snake in that photo shoot. That's for sure.
All right, so we're looking forward to both of you guys doing. Maybe that can be
Here we
another.
go.
If there's another failed bet,
I've got
he
so
has to
many
do a
things I have
shoot
to do.
Photo
with a
shoot.
python.
Yeah, in his
We gotta
bonds.
get- yeah.
I'm deathly afraid of snakes.
You're
Was he was wearing
100%.
white undies in those ones too, wasn't he?
I
Which is
couldn't get
also
away
a
with
bold
that.
statement.
I couldn't get away with
You
that.
cannot wear white undies.
No, it's not. No. Well, no. But
Do I
anyway,
dare ask?
Old Skid Mark Steve will come out.
yeah, that was my low. That was my low this week. So sorry,
Okay.
not footy related. Well, kind of was.
That's all right.
because-
No, it's great.
Well, maybe we need a vote on social. Is that going to be punishment that we have to? He has to do an
I
underwear
like
and
that.
snake shoot.
Look, I already feel bad about my body. I don't want to feel worse about it, guys. So
And then maybe you could.
I haven't
wear-
eaten.
After the fake tan,
I haven't eaten
and the
since that
tattoo.
can.
after the fake tan and the tattoo, you then have to do that.
Okay,
That's like
done.
the grand final, semi-final
Oh,
into
okay.
the grand
Yeah,
final.
yeah.
You know what we should do? Here's one. If we go to Magic Round, we should get Ash in one of those, you know, those machines above water, and there's like a little target.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah,
And he's
yeah.
gonna wear his
Oh.
white Bonds undies in that.
There'll be a lot of disappointed fans, that's for sure. Hung
That's
like
why-
a
that's
cashew.
why
Just
That's
being
what
in the
it's
Manly jersey and Manly in Queensland, everyone hates us.
Everyone hates us
Man, you
everywhere
got the
anyway.
buy the Magic Round.
I know. That's
You
why
could
it'd
be,
be even
you could
better.
be Manly, the Manly man traveling up there.
The
I could be.
random Manly fan,
Yes.
like the
Random
South
Manly
guy.
fan. Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's look at the games this weekend. Which one are you most looking forward to? If you go through it, Thursday night we kick off Dolphins and Panthers.
I'm actually looking forward to that one because who would have thought at the start of the year the Panthers would be 1-4?
Yeah.
Like from 5 games, they would have 1 win and 4 losses. Like you would have thought for sure they win on the weekend. 250 games for Isaiah Yeo, Nathan Cleary back in the side. They would have just controlled that game and got a win at the end, but it just wasn't to be. And the Dolphins got their first win back at home last week against the Titans. Look, they played pretty well. So I think it does set up because the Panthers at the moment, they're not that side that they have been for the last 4 years. Look, they're still gritted out for 80 minutes, but they're just lacking the Fisher Harrises, the Luais to help step up. Obviously, Dylan Edwards is a huge out.
You lose 200 metres every game.
Oh.
You don't have you don't have Edwards.
And quick play the balls.
Oh.
And what he does so well is what's so not noticed by so many people is his organisation with the line. And that's what we talk about with the great fullbacks. Like I played with Tedesco at the Tigers.
Yep.
He was still learning that there, and then now watching him at the Roosters, he's so good at getting the right numbers at the right times in the field. Look, they are getting Scott Sorensen back from the HIA. So and then Tommy Gilbert's back for the Dolphins as well, their captain. So I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what people think.
What do you make of Joey's statement and loosely phrased that Cleary needs to dumb his game down for the rest?
Dumb it. I just think
Slow it down.
they're learning again,
Yeah.
and they've come out of a period where the last 5 years, because they lost the first grand final and then won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
They've been pretty consistent with their spine, and you knew what you're going to get. Obviously, Appy moved on early on, but there's players in their system now that don't know the Penrith way. Like, yeah, they've been there for training. You got young kids, Jack Cole's there, Blaze Talangi's come on, but they're just finding their feet. Look, I no doubt they'll go on a run the back end of the year. And once they do feel comfortable, Nathan was in and out. He missed a couple of weeks with the head knock. The only real one that's sort of been there is Isaiah and Mitch Kenny. So,
Yeah, true.
So it'll take the load off Isaiah once he does get Cleary back in there week in, week out. And I think, he is miles ahead of where these guys are at, but he probably does have to slow down a little bit, make it simplify.
Yeah, but how do you dumb it down? It's
dumb
like
it? I think
asking
it's
Brett
just
Lee to
slow
bowl
it
his opposite
down.
hand.
I think it's just simplify the game
Yeah.
instead of trying to throw trick shots. Like
Build some pressure. What?
So when
off the rack.
they last couple of years, and it was probably a game against Parramatta where they shouldn't have won, they come back. They knew what their system was. Everyone knew their role. They got new kids that have come into the system that are still finding their way, finding their feet on what their role actually is for the side. And I think that just takes playing games. You can do what you want in the preseason. When you're under fatigue, we know Nathan how good he is.
Yeah.
And we know when he's under the pump, we know that he sticks to what he does best and he knows he can get the job done. But these other players around him haven't understand that quite yet. And I think once they get more game time with Nathan, I still think they're a chance of winning the comp.
Wow,
I think
okay.
that
Not counting them out.
Even if they don't make the top 4, I think they could be the first team that win the competition out of the 4.
Yeah, okay. I
Bold.
I
Do we
am-
want to put a bet on that one?
Are you
So
gonna
do you want to do a bold statement?
Yeah,
No.
we'll do it I'll do it.
All right, bold
If they
statement.
don't make the 4, I reckon they're a chance of winning the comp still.
Okay.
And what happens if you don't?
We will work that
Because
out.
Ash has
work
got
that
it
out.
getting a tat. So
I'm not getting a Panthers tat. No way in the world.
Wuss.
We've got plenty of time to figure that out.
okay,
wuss.
maybe we'll put it to the people.
I'm with Woodsy. I think they'll. I don't know if they'll win the comp, but they'll come good.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about arguably one of the greatest teams that's ever. And yes, there's a lot of new faces, but they'll learn the Panthers way, and they'll be back in the winners.
They just look a little bit tired to me at the moment as well. Like, you got to remember, the season's very long. Like, a lot of their players are in the Aussie squad at the end of the Pacific Championships. Then
Vegas.
you got to come back earlier than what they would have had to, so they could qualify to play the Vegas games, part of the RLPA's new rules and regulations. And then they travel to Vegas. You got to come back.
Be in Vegas.
And they had a good win against Cronulla in Vegas too, so they would have
Yeah.
enjoyed it. And yeah, mate, they'll take time, but they'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into Saturday. Friday. I've jumped the gun. Dragons, Titans, and then Broncos and Roosters.
I think like the Dragons Titans is a bit. It's a 6 o'clock game. It doesn't really do it for me.
You're still getting home from work. Really.
Doesn't really set the
I don't have a
world
job
on
with
fire,
that
does
one.
it? But geez, Dragons disappointing against Parramatta. Up 20-8. Torrell Sloane scores in the corner but gets denied, and then from that moment, it looked like they were just struggling. You really feel for Lachlan Ilias. Like, kicks that ball out in the full in Golden Point. He's trying so hard to get that, just to get that win and just to get that momentum for his own game, and geez, just couldn't get there. And how funny it was, like, not funny, but Zach Lomax to kick the winning field goal. He did
That's
leave.
a good one of these ones.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
absolutely.
And if you watch when he kicks the goal, he's done that to someone up in the stands. I'd love to know who that was to.
I think we know who it was.
Where was Flano's box?
Yeah. I think their last name's Flano. Look, I thought once that try was disallowed, they scored, and then they thought, we've won this. They've clocked off. It's turned around. All of a sudden, they've got to put their work vest back on and continue playing, and that didn't work, and they lost. And for my tipping, thank God they lost.
So who are you both tipping on that one?
Titans.
Okay.
I want to go Dragons. Come back.
You're going to go back with your old team?
I would have hated to be with Flano this week at training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least there was none of these ones this time round. Yeah. He's been banned.
Yeah, and I think the Titans will bounce back too. I think.
Look, so you guys are going
they're
head
a
to
hard
head.
side to follow, the Titans, aren't they? Like, one week they're outstanding, the next week they just I thought they would have won comfortably against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But
it's at Queensland. We spoke about that. Queensland derbies are just different.
Yeah, I think we underestimate the hammer, right? Like, I think once he gets up, the rest of his team gets up, and I think the Dolphins are probably better than we think they are.
Yeah, they've just been playing with himself, I think, at the moment. Saifidi was outstanding. He started off the game on fire. Got himself a meat pie. I love seeing a front rower score a try.
That's good
Yeah,
stuff.
Shout out, Daniel Saifidi, on you, big boy.
But Titans should get it, I reckon.
Broncos Roosters we're going to touch on in the Woodsy Bucket, which is coming up very soon, so stick in for that. Saturday we head to the NRL doubleheader at Optus Stadium. So we go Sharks into Manly first up, and then South Cowboys.
I think that's the game of the round, Sharks and Manly.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Is that the Points Bet Cup?
Well, it is.
Let's call it the
is.
Points Bet Cup.
Hey, also, if you haven't already followed along from last week's episode, we're giving you a chance to win not one, but 2 jerseys. We're selecting 2 winners. There's an all-signed Manly jersey and all-signed Sharks jersey. All you need to do is comment on our last post on Instagram on Oz American Aces. Tell us who your favourite player of all time is for either Manly or Sharks, and you'll be in the running to get yourself one of those signed jerseys, which is the grouse. And this is the actual Points Bet Cup this weekend.
This is, man, what a giveaway.
It is.
Get behind it. Get away.
And
get tagging. Tell
You
us who your
modelled
best
them
player
both
is.
so well on the
you look great.
Instagram
I
post
know.
too.
I wanted to, get one stitched up and was going to wear it today, but I was left that a little bit too late. That was my
Yeah.
bad.
That was
Sorry,
a bad
guys.
run on that one.
Very bad. But, mate, great giveaway. Get behind it. Tag as much as you can. The game, wow. It's both teams come off a loss.
Yep.
It's didn't really. I tipped Sharks last week against Canberra. I thought they would have been up for it. Poor old Nicho's just copying it again, isn't he? Like it's like he gets stage fright in the big games. Just can't deliver at the moment.
Is it a big game? No. I thought it's just a regular game.
What else do you think it is? I can't put it down to stage fright, although he cops a lot of heat because a lot of the times we see it in those high pressure games.
I think it's the moments, like you look at players like Cameron Munster, Nathan Cleary, they go after it.
Yeah.
The more they need to get their side back in the game, the more possessions or more touches of the football they have. Whereas Nicho sort of just sits back and floats. For me, Nicho's more of a fullback.
Yeah.
Like he can just inject himself. He doesn't look like that type of guy that gets people to certain points on the field. And that's where I see Braden Trindle does a good job there. And Nicho's been playing that 5'8" role. So, but it's hard. He's got Will Kennedy as a good little fullback himself. It's getting that balance right at that club. But just when there's a little bit of, well, you probably wouldn't say big game, but when there's a lot of chat about Nicho, it tends to go into his shell a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got to find
I
himself.
would too if I was on the main stage and everyone's telling me I need to get dropped. I would be
It's also hard
absolutely losing it.
when people like Andrew Johns are the ones that
Yeah.
an immortal of our game, probably someone that he's looked up to.
Yeah.
New South Wales legend. And when you get knocked by people like that, that does hurt and it dents your confidence a bit.
Oh, would 100%.
and you can see he's trying, but it's just not coming off for him at the moment.
I think the opposite team, you sort of want your halfback to be feared by the opposite team in terms of what strategy you're going to have, right?
Yeah.
You look at Munster, you look at all these guys in the centre. Clear is a good example. His game management, his strategy, he has a plan, he sticks to it. Yeah. When Nicho gets the ball, no plan. There's nothing. His kicks perform no pressure whatsoever. It's like he's scared to just have a crack because yes, he's copping it so much. Is he in the wrong position? I think he's in the wrong position, but what do I know? But I think there's other players that could sit in that 7. Like Trindle's playing outstanding, I think. Like he's running the ball, he's setting it up, he's got a plan, he's putting in kicks, he's forcing, his try assists, all this sort of stuff is coming off the back of him. And then what's Nicho running at like 3 try assists or something over the course of the year, and it's like you're the halfback. And I think if we're talking about it every week, every single week, at what point is it like, all right, well, he needs to gain some confidence somewhere. We need to move him or we need to drop him down to play some footy. And
I don't think they'll drop him because he's $1 million man.
Yeah.
It'll just cause so much heat to the Cronulla Sharks. But they just got to find a way to get him into the game.
But do they want to win games or not?
100%.
So, you know what I mean? Like it's going to cause I'm not going to sit here and say he's a crap player. I'm going to sit here and say he needs some confidence. He's not playing well. He needs something. And Cronulla, if they've got to go, okay, well, you need to get some confidence somewhere else so that we can win some footy games. Then you can come back and we could potentially look at making a top 4. But they are not a top 4 team at the moment.
They've got all the attributes to be. You got to remember 3 years ago it was Dalian Middleus.
Exactly.
Absolute best player in the competition. He's just got to go back, find out what worked for him there, and he's got to bring it back because he's got it in him. Like, it's not like he hasn't been there. And he's also, I reckon he's a bigger body than a lot of people think. Like, he can do some damage. Maybe just, go out there and just take the line on early on, run, show us your running game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. I remember when Sean Johnson came over to the Sharks and his biggest thing was his running game.
Yeah.
Like, he was so good. And then he kept trying to kick. And force
He
this
went
stuff
in more of that
didn't-
game manager mode.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, well, obviously Nicho needs to just hit the line.
Yeah.
See what he's made of, right? Hit the line. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I think maybe the Sharks need to drop him back to fullback, put him at 14 or something, and just go, do what you want with 20 minutes to go.
Well, let's look onto the Manly side. that's what they're obviously coming up against. But watching them last week, very different side. You spoke about it in our last episode that we would potentially see the emotional downplay of that,
That's what I was
of what
worried
happened
about.
with Cherry. They're away for a week. What happens to a team in galvanising when they go away for an away trip? And I mean, I think they left on Monday to head over to Perth.
Yeah, for me, the best thing is obviously they would have been filthy in their performance, leaking 48 points at Brookvale. They want to make that a fortress.
Yeah.
I think you said, like, in the chat, we see that they looked a bit flat, didn't they? Like, when they ran out, compare them to Melbourne. Melbourne were upbeat, energy. Manly, like, they're just going through the motions a little bit.
Yeah.
The best thing for them is to get away as a team. Like I said, they flew to Perth on Monday. I know when I've been in with Manly, they come up with a few nights, like not a bonding, but they come up with little games. Like the Turbos produced a trivia night. You just get around the boys. They're all going to be copying it at some stage, whether it's Cherry, whether it's the forwards or whatnot. But this is a perfect time for them to bunker down and just don't read nothing. Just get around each other, get the good vibes, create your own energy, and then come out and just absolutely just tee off straight into the Sharks. But then, in saying that, it's exactly the same thing for the Sharks.
Yeah.
Because they're coming off a poor loss, away trip, which they sort of got down there. There was all talk that they're going to play, then come straight back home. So it's a huge game. This is the game.
Perth's the perfect place though, because rugby league is not on any
you want to
page
be
of
the back.
paper.
So quiet.
Yeah.
Like it's like a little byline in the bottom of the page. Like they're looking for a big crowd, but you're not going to be reading or hearing about it or seeing much about the drama other than what you already know.
And it'll also be a great feel for them. It's a double header.
Yeah.
They're playing at Optus Stadium, which is a huge stadium over there. It's massive. And there's gonna be some, hopefully they get a packed house there.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of adrenaline in the stadium. So hopefully the boys are pumped up from the
But
get-go.
it's a big comeback for them as well too. I think Sharks go play Sunday against the Knights the week after. Manly have to back up on the Thursday against the Dragons. Souths have to back up on the Friday against the Dogs. And Cows get the bye. Thankfully, they've got the worst travel there. So they've got a tough run back.
Is it normal to go on a Monday?
To Perth, I think it would be.
Would be?
It's a
It's
fair
a
flight.
6-hour flight and time
5,
difference.
6.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
acclimatise to the tide, to the time over there.
To the
It's a lot
tide.
different to the tide.
To the time.
The moon's different over there, boys and
It's a lot
girls.
different. But yeah, it's just for those trips, I think it would be. Yeah,
Yeah,
And
okay.
especially they would have booked that a long time ago.
Yeah, it wouldn't
You
have
would
been
have to
like,
get a hotel and
"Quick,
fly."
let's get us out of here.
Exactly right.
And like I think you're like I said, they were a bit flat the other day. I felt like they weren't playing to their strength, which was playing at the back. Like obviously Tom's not there. They weren't doing. They kept dropping it back into Ben Drabojevic, who made a hell of a lot of line breaks. But then when Melbourne started to read that, they didn't change it. And it was like I was sitting there going, "You're dropping it back in now, and there's a man there. They're not going to. Melbourne are too good to fall for that too many times, and they just weren't there." So.
Big in for Manly, Croker.
Oh, yeah.
They've missed him. They've had Jazz Savanga, who's done a reasonable job, but he's a middle forward. He's not a hooker. He's not a passer. The direction of Lockie is going to be massive for him.
So where does Jazz fit in now? Where will he?
It just depends how they're going to play him because he's a very similar type to Nathan Brown. Like not as in like sort of off the back fence, but he's got that late offload, bit of aggression. Just depends on what sort of side Siebes wants to go with. There's no Josh Allawai last week. Does he play him this week? He's got a different type of middle. Does he want to go with the mobile, smaller, faster pack or go with the bigger bodies?
And Tommy Talau's looking like he will be back
He's gonna be
potentially
huge
as
in
well
for him,
too, which will be another big
Subs
in,
out,
which will be sub, gone.
Hopefully a straight swap there, yeah.
Yep. We then head to Darwin, and this game every year with the Para and Raiders is torrential rain or steaming hot
And
humidity.
Para can't win up there.
It's their game that they take there.
How many years have they played up there, and how many have they won?
I think 4 or 5 now.
And they haven't won.
Yeah, and
one.
I don't think
Maybe they should look at playing
They've
somewhere else.
won a
They've
couple,
won a
but
couple,
the
but
last
not all,
the recent years, they've been slapped up there. Like not just beat, but beaten well.
Yeah.
They'd be up there. They'd be confident.
Yeah.
Big win last week. And the Raiders coming off a loss.
True.
Conditions are a lot different to Canberra than what they are in Darwin
Hey,
as well.
seriously, like you see all the commentators, they're all sweating and they're in singlets and stuff like that.
yeah.
So you
I'll do
can
that one from
imagine
the
being a
studio if I
footballer.
was them.
Yeah.
I'll just watch it off TV.
You'd be a sweaty mess, wouldn't you?
Woodsy's the diva queen. He's like, I do not travel to
Yeah,
Darwin. I
yeah.
will watch on the TV
Too
and
long of a
commentate.
flight.
They put you in an air-conditioned bubble.
Remember Brad Arthur, how much waters he used to have in front of him?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Gives you 15 water bottles.
Didn't he have a water sponsor? Yeah. Mount Franklin.
Well, Mount Franklin.
We're moving to Sunday's games. Storm Warriors we'll touch on in the Would You Back It because I know one of you guys are putting a bet on there. Newcastle West Tigers. Thoughts here?
Luai back?
Luai,
We only got 1 week, didn't we?
1 week, and his shoulder was not as bad as first thought.
Yep.
This is a big game for the Tigers because they had a great first month of footy, and the Newcastle Knights did beat them round 1, but admittedly they played some good footy that one, leaking 48 points against a Brisbane side that weren't to their standard. Like I seen Adam Reynolds get interviewed at half time, and he was like really disappointed with their first half of footy. But then Newcastle, they got a lot of injuries, injuries from last week. But you've still got that man, Kalen Ponga, there. Like he can just completely change a game like in a second. So this will be another tight hustle, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's
Which a couple of weeks ago I never thought it would be.
No way.
Yeah, I think like this one's a bit close. I reckon, like you said, if Ponga has a good game, Newcastle will win. But I think with the injuries, the Tigers have got a slightly stronger team. So
you know what could be the difference? Packed out Newcastle Stadium.
Yeah,
McDonald's
true.
Stadium.
On a Sunday
They
too.
love it up there, don't they?
but Tilly's got a win there last night. So
And that was
you've got the
the
girls
girls
hat
hat
on.
on.
Yeah.
that was chockers up there too.
yeah, it was
wasn't
full house. Yeah.
It's so good to see the sport going nuts.
They love sport in
Any sport up
Newcastle.
there.
Yeah.
What a town.
We could put a fight on between
The
you two.
Bulldogs
I
got a
reckon we
bye,
could
so
pack
they
it
should
on.
win that one.
I'll be in Ash's corner. He can fight. He can fight Matty.
I'm not fighting anyone.
Two doting dads go at it.
He's got a longer reach. You
You got a good chin, mate.
I got a good hard chin on me.
All right, Bulldogs are on the bye. I think we're going to really delve into the Bulldogs next week
Yes.
on our episode because so
Good
far
Friday clash too.
undefeated. Yeah, and they've got a huge game coming up. So don't worry, we will be talking about the dominance of the Dogs at the moment. It is time for Would You Back It? And would you back it?
Would you back it?
Woods, Aaron,
I
would you
would,
back it?
because I'm the one that's come up with it.
Exactly.
But we've got some good stats from our mates at StatMate. So Jesse Arthur, he scored a try in 4 of his last 5 matches this season. So he's got 70 in total. One off the top try scorer.
When did he get so handsome?
He's a good looking dude, eh? He's got the tats like you, like little, like not the whole sleeve, but just the little
Not
tats.
the whole sleeve.
He's got a grilled rig on him.
He hasn't got a storm tattoo though, does he?
Not yet.
Not yet. James Tedesco, he hasn't scored a try versus the Broncos since 2021.
So he's
0 in his
due.
last 6 games. So you know what?
Due.
I'm not going to pick him in my multi
Oh, you
because
should
I
not.
just don't feel him. So I'm going to go Broncos minus the start, which I think was 16.5, I think it was. Points over 48.5 total. And I'm
Ooh,
going to go
okay.
Cobbo and Stags anytime try scorer.
So you think it's going to be a very high scoring game?
So, and this is a game, round 1, I got my multi right.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm backing myself to go double whammy here.
Yeah, right.
Because they're already playing each other again.
Yep.
Yeah, same with the Knights and the Tigers. Like,
Yep.
get those ones out of the way quickly.
6 rounds in and they've already played each other twice.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so Broncos minus start, points over 48.5, Cobbo anytime and Stags anytime.
I like it. I'm going to jump
I don't
on with
mind
you.
it.
Thank you, Stats, mate, for helping me, but I just had to go against you today. Hasn't been working for me.
All right, Ash. who are you kicking
I'm
off
going to
with?
go with the Storms and the Storms.
The Storms.
I just did it.
We're all going to do it once.
Yeah, Storm and the Warriors. So Pap, according to StatMate, scored two tries in all their 3 last meetings.
You like Paps for 2 tries, don't you? You're a bit of a...
He's on the Pap train.
Yeah, but look, every 2+ tries I go this year, I get 1. So I'm going to go with Storm 13+. I'm going to go with Pap to score 1, Munster to score 1, and Grant to score 1.
Ooh,
Oh.
Grant's due, man. I've backed him a couple of times in my same game multis. He's let me down.
Munster,
Yes.
Grant, and who was the other one?
Paps,
Paps, of
Munster,
course, yeah.
Grant, and look, those 3. Yes, Hughes was also very good the other day. Those 3 the other day were unbelievable.
They're so in sync with each other, aren't they?
If they get any space near a try line, I think
Can I say something, Ashy? I thought it was going to be 60 at one stage.
Yeah.
They were just doing it with ease.
yeah, we
scary.
were thankful they took a few players off.
And we didn't get the 50 for Manly, so there's still a
Yeah,
chance
I
of winning the
remember
comp.
your message going, please don't let them get them 50.
I
All of a
know.
sudden we scored a couple, so I felt like that was a morale. That was scary.
It was, it was tough. And I left with 10 minutes to go.
Oh, you were one of the people that walked.
I had a 5-year-old with me and he was upset.
You gotta hang in there till the end, mate. Never give
drown
up.
my sorrows.
I
Scottish
would have
Sattler.
thrown a sausage at your face.
I would have welcomed it.
Think about that.
All right, I like it. Well, there are your two bets. You can follow the guys in on the PointsBet website as well too, and also on the app. I think they generally get thrown up there, don't they? As
Yeah,
well?
they do, yes.
Yes, they do.
And of course, if you do want to check out some of the best stats to help you out with any of your bets, it is all thanks to StatMate. It is available on iPhone and is coming soon to Android.
Well, hit
So-
us up. We'll help you with some stats.
Well, yeah, actually, just come straight to the boys.
I'm a stat
Tag
guy.
him in.
If he's jump on my multi, just send me a tag and I'll tag you on Instagram.
Oh, God.
Just want to know some people actually, one person does.
You got a
Other than my
friend.
mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
All right, it is time for the offload, and basically I give the boys 30 seconds for a rant because they used to rant and they used to go too long. We're going to have an epic little clock that will be up on your screens this time. So if you're listening to us on Spotify, do yourself a favour and actually head on over to YouTube because that is where it's going to be at for the visuals. But otherwise, we're just going with the trusty iPhone clock for the 30 seconds. So here we go, 30 seconds on the clock. Who's going first?
I'll go first today.
You go first.
You went first last week, didn't you?
No, you did.
No, you did.
You go then.
Can I ask, this isn't going to be about the refs again?
This is not about the ref. I give you a rat, please.
Okay, ready? And go.
Mine is about the scheduling today. So there's not one single game in Sydney this week. Can you believe that? This is a week that we have school holidays. So the kids could be looking forward to going to a game at the end of the week, support their side, whether it's the Mighty Bulldogs, Parramatta Eels. But no, Parra decided to take a game to Darwin. We got a game in Perth. We're in Melbourne. We're in Wollongong. Bring back the games to Sydney, especially in these holiday weeks, so these kids can go out there and support their bloody team. Come on, NRL. Wake up to yourself.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
Very good.
What about the kids in school holidays in Wollongong and Darwin?
Stuff
and-
them.
Do they have school holidays there?
You're so selfish.
They got kids up there?
Yeah.
Look, I think we just have one game.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one. It's all right. We're spoiled every other week, Sydney.
We
because of the
absolutely
10
are.
teams
I might
we-
go to watch the Waratahs and clap when they score a try.
It's like this, mate.
Yeah, sorry. With my
Make
scarf
sure you put your scarf,
and my button-up
put your
shirt.
sweater over your shoulders.
And my
Maybe you
RM
guys can
Williams.
head
Get
to an
straight off
AFL
my
game.
yacht and into the Waratahs
Could you
game.
imagine me rocking up with Nike TNs to an AFL, to a rugby union
Bum
game?
bag over the shoulder.
Oh, do you wear? Is that what you wear? Nike TNs?
Yeah, it has to be white ones, fresh, beautiful.
You
They'll
take-
look at me and they'll be scared.
Do you
You gonna
wear a
take your
bum
shiv?
bag?
No, I got a man bag.
Yeah, oh,
no,
you
I'm
do.
joking.
You gonna take your shiv? You better.
Self-made?
Out of a toothbrush.
All right, Ash, your go on 3, 2.
I want to have a whinge about everyone trying to tell us that Latrell's pass was forward.
Oh.
Okay. One thing I've got a problem with is that I saw someone get their protractor out. They're using the wrong math/science. It's physics. That pass was amazing. It might have floated forward with momentum because of physics. And yes, some say I've lost it.
What do they say? What do they say? You know what?
I said some say that ball's still cutting people out.
Oh, ask Dominic Young. He's gone back to a reserve grade for that.
Oh yeah, look,
yeah.
that was a poor effort.
Hey.
If it was forward, he would have got that.
You know it was such a great pass when it was man on man, so he should have been on the winger, and he's just watching the ball.
Yeah.
Just float past his face.
Because he was just, I mean, you just said it was one of the best passes ever, and people are still cut out by it.
Do you think it was forward, Renee?
No.
No way.
I
Out of the
think it
hands
was-
backwards, then
yeah.
floated forward?
I
Yes.
think. Look, yeah, we're rolling forward. The little skip before he passed it is my favourite part.
No, the goosey.
The little, he wasn't even looking. He's looking down Goosey, and then
It's just getting the defence interested.
Yeah.
Can I ask about Latrell? Did you see his 2 dropouts? They are the worst dropouts I've ever seen, and he had the Midas touch because they bounced
I know.
perfectly for South Sydney.
and
I don't know what if I'm Robbo sitting in the box, I'm like, what do we do? How do we defend
Yeah.
that?
He's looking fit.
He's looking great.
He's looking great, and it's good to see him back out there loving his footy again. So
What are you liking about he's not a media ban, but media ban? He's put himself on.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Not
mate.
doing
whatever-
any Post-match interviews.
Whatever
nothing?
he needs to do to find love for the game and play as good as he can play, because he is so good for our game. Like people want to sledge him. You love him or you love to hate him. I don't think anyone actually can sit here and say I hate Latrell because
way.
that's garbage.
No,
like
he's a
you
good
watch
bloke.
what he can do on the field, you watch what he does for Origin, you watch what he does off the field, and all this sort of stuff. It's all good. So I think it's good to have him back, and hopefully he's good. Doesn't get injured again.
I think it's great for South Sydney because he goes head down, bum up, and he wants to work hard.
Well, there's talk about him playing halves this week because obviously they're injuries.
Yeah, exactly. And because Lewis Dodd crusher in reserve grade, so he's suspended for the week.
What a
Poor
goose.
The South have had it tough. 3
Yeah.
hammies, their halves partnership, all sorts of stuff. But good luck to them. Thank you so much for joining us again on another week. Obviously, Ash and Aaron. Don't forget, you can also check out the AFL Aus American Aces with Train, Daisy and Wallace. We're going to be coming up with some bets for them very shortly because we are in round 5, baby. It means round 6 we tip off with you guys. Thanks again for another week. Follow us on Instagram, on Spotify, on YouTube, all of the places to find your favourite podcasts.